Ola has taught us quite a lot if you've been here. Managing your expectation, emotional intelligence, how to control our emotions. Back in the day, if I'm doing this show, the way I will come for that freeze.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say Gosso, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty. What's worth of a lady? It's nice, but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time. But then it took a long fun I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the pen station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes are killing her tight. I found me a beautiful girl.
Body me LP, my wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from a planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger, we look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace up with presents and gifts, call me Santa. Claus, I make a heartbeat pause. That's my
nice. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and picture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I would give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling eyes, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Ola has taught us quite a lot if you've been here. Managing your expectation, emotional intelligence, how to control our emotions. Back in the day, if I'm doing this show, the way I will come for that freaks.
Man of prestige. Ha! Now this guy win. Now you win. Now you win today. Now you win. I agree. Man of prestige. Now man you be.
I'm sure some people will be jealous now the way I talk about Ola. But I have learned a lot from him. That's why I keep telling you to follow him. If you don't follow Man of Prestige, now you know.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige? Welcome. Hello. How on a day? Hopefully you can hear me loud and clear. Let me just check myself. Oh yeah, it's looking good. All right, what's going on? Happy, what is it, Wednesday? I lost track of time, but just pardon me, okay? Oh, I'm here. What's going on, Lady Navor? Good to see you, lady. I'm waiting for that email. Can't find the email. Hey, Life with Natu says catching up from Ethero. You're on your way back, or you're still in the middle of nowhere. Good to see you, Natu. Hello, Isabel Chukura. Hello. Good to see you. D says, let me get pen and paper. Yes, you need to get pen and paper for today's session. Okay. Hello. Good to see you all. All right. How's everybody doing? Susie Beauty, good to see you. Hello, good to see you. All right, do me a favor, as you're coming in, hit that like button, share and subscribe. I'm missing about 6 likes right now, so if you can please turn up on the like. Let's bring everyone else into the room. Let's do that. Yes, today we're talking about the 11 checkpoints that these two Judy Austin Yoledoche, that's just a last name, a surname, and Stella Damasus. This is 11 checkpoints that they probably missed. That's what we're going to talk about today. Let me first of all say a quick shout out to all 187 of you that watched yesterday's live stream on Red Flag, on the #1 Red Flag. If you haven't seen that video, you need to go watch it. Okay, that's actually a training series that we're going to blow out a little bit more. Okay, yes, if you haven't seen that, make sure you go watch it. It's called the #1 Red Flag. It's yesterday's live stream. All right, and oh yeah, shout out to sponsors, channel sponsors: Richie, Life with Natu, Adesua, Odirin, Film Girl, Open Floor by Tima, Show Mama, Gorex Corner. And of course, D-Love, I miss you. Where are you? Amaze you. Where are you? Where's Chinye? Where's everybody else? All right. So, and by the way, I'm looking for today's sponsor. Who's going to sponsor today's show? Any amount, no matter how small, you become the sponsor of the show today. My name is Ola. I'm coming to you live from my Empire Post Studios. and this is Men of Prestige. Over here, we talk about relationships, and when we talk about relationships, we'll talk about power, social, what is it? Emotional, seduction, attraction, power, social, self, the emotional, seduction, attraction, intelligence. These are the angles we come from. We don't do right and wrong. Okay, if you think it's right, you are right. If you think it's wrong, same thing.
You're right.
All right, so what I focus on here is mostly results. Okay, we look at results that celebrities are creating out there from moving a certain way, consequences, and that's what we focus on. Okay, so that you can learn how to navigate what we call life and relationship without getting stuck in right and wrong mode. Most people are holier than thou, and yet they are creating terrible results. Go figure. So that's what's going on. So today we're going to be talking about the 11 checkpoints that I feel like these two people, Judy Austin and Stella Damasus, might have missed to be called husband snatcher today. Nobody wants to be a husband snatcher. Okay, believe it or not, men don't care about being a wife snatcher. It's not really a thing for us, right? But nobody wants to be called a husband snatcher. If a person has concluded to a point where they're like, whatever, like a Judy Austin, it's usually a coping mechanisms, or like they're just, basically they're capping.
Stop the cap.
All right, but generally speaking, women don't want to be called husband snatcher. And also, what I find is that most people that end up being called, a lot of people that end up being called husband snatcher, they didn't plan it to go that way. Some of them received the wrong impression, from the person they were dating, or maybe that person was just as confused, right? And everything in between. Okay, and everything in between. So yes, today we're going to be talking about the 11 checkpoints that you might want to pay attention to. By the way, this 11 checkpoints is also good for men. Okay, these are just if you're going to do a relationship that you want to potentially turn to a lifetime situation with a divorcee, with a person that has a past, a person that came from another situation. These are things you want to pay attention to. Okay, now, do you guys like the 1 hour session we've been doing all week? Do you guys like it? You want us to keep it that way, or you want us to go a little bit more longer? Is it enough? Let me know in the chat if it's enough, or so that I can pay attention to what you guys love. Okay, one thing I find is that my numbers are showing me is that it really doesn't matter for you guys. Okay, but what matters is you let me just stop. Let me know if you like the 1 hour. Okay, if you don't like the 1 hour, let me know. But yes, these are the topics to cover here. If you haven't gotten the book yet, make sure you get the book at loveandprestige.com. You can download it for free. It's absolutely free, and there's a 30-day boot camp that comes with that as well. Okay, and by the way, the book Smart Relationship Guide, the actual book, is in the works too. So there's a book in the work. Look out for that. It's called the Smart Relationship Guide. Oh yeah, guess what? There's another book as well that's in the works, written by Lola and I, my wife and I, both of them. Okay, with the Get My Marriage Back, that's already available at Love and Prestige. So there are 3 books in the pipeline. Let me just let you know right now. Okay. This I do not want to see the words karma or not. Let me see. Let me come to the chat really quickly. She said, I do not want to see the words karma or narcissist from some people. Not you, Mr. Ola. I hear you. I know exactly what you mean, D. You can mix and match, alternate the length of the video. Okay. All right. Good. Awesome. I'll pay attention to that. So we have a book in the works, Love and Prestige. Okay. We have another book in the works called Smart Relationship Guide. We have another book in the works called The Number One Red Flag. Okay, so these are all books in the pipeline right now that we're working on. So look out for that. If you're not yet part of the notification gang, make sure you join the notification gang at lolaandola.com/WhatsApp. Or you can simply use the phone number here on WhatsApp only. Send a text to +1732 305 8577. Without any further ado, do me a favor, hit like right now. I'm still missing 15 likes. Hit that like button. Let's turn up on this. We're going to talk about the level checkpoints. I'm just going to dive right into it. If you don't wait before I dive right into it, let me just sip a bottle of water. Thank you. All right, welcome back. So respect boundaries. What do I mean by this? Okay, just like the word narcissist, karma, right, and intentional, right? Those buzzwords that comes from the psychology books, right? Boundaries actually fall in that same category for me. Okay, but it's a very difficult thing for me because oftentimes I find that I have to use those words. So maybe myself, I'm capping smart too. It's just that I've seen them overused and misused. So I find out that sometimes I'm capping too.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, sometimes I am. Okay, and but not because I want to lie, but because it's overused and it's obvious when some people just throw those words around that they haven't done any self-reflection, they haven't done any self-assessment. It's just another opportunity to point fingers. Men and women, right? So respect boundaries is number one here, and it falls in that category, but I have to use it. Like if I have another word, choice of word, I would, but trust me, I will always do justice to explain to you what do I mean, because I always ask you, somebody says narcissist or somebody is narcissist, ask them what do you mean. If they use words that they tend to throw around anyhow, accountability, right? Including when I say generalization, right? Like after a while, the same words start to become like a talking point, and it gets watered down so badly that it loses its. So I want you to pay attention to such words. When it's easy, people are disingenuous. When they start throwing it around, right? Those kind of words, ask them, what do you mean? See if they can explain themselves. So what do I mean by respect boundaries when it comes to you potentially becoming a husband snatcher? Meaning the person that you're dating is coming from a previous situation. They have children previously, right? That's not a crime, right? That's not a crime. People have experiences, circumstances happen sometimes, and people still want to do love. Okay, people want to participate in love and romance and relation because we're social and emotional beings. So what do I mean by respect boundaries? Okay, you want to basically ensure that the previous marriage has been legally, okay, not just legally, and emotionally dissolved. Okay, this is often difficult for a lot of people. Now, listen, you're a human being. You're going to date, and sometimes you like somebody, you really dating them. It's obvious that the past situation is over, but it hasn't been finalized legally. Okay? It hasn't been. You want to respect the boundaries of that man's past relationship, of that woman's past relationship. Okay? You want to respect those boundaries, particularly for your own good. Hey, D-Love, welcome, D-Love. Good to see you. For your own good. I didn't ask you to set boundaries. Okay? Now, you can set boundaries, but you can set it for yourself. Because oftentimes when people say set boundaries, they're trying to control another person. Okay? The idea is to set it for yourself and then respect it. Meaning, these are the kind of lines I don't draw. I don't cross. These are the line I don't cross. These are the kind of lines I don't cross. So you want to respect the boundaries of that man's past relationship, because that thing is written in stone. especially if they have children. Okay, so it can be a little tricky because again, you can find a good man or a good woman, and they are coming out of a situation. They've been separated for 3 years, but they haven't finalized on paper. Well, obviously you want to know why it's not finalized on paper, and then you want to shine your eyes, keep your eyes open, because that's how people end up being a husband snatcher. Everybody else will look at you, people that are not talking to you, people that you're not privileged to talk to. You don't have the privilege of them talking to you, and before you know it, there's words around the streets that you're a husband snatcher. And everything is optics, everything is perception. Perception is everything. Perception is reality. Yes, that's how it works in real life. But let's fly through this, because today I'm going to keep it to 1 hour too. We'll be back with some more stuff as we go into the weekend, as we cross into. All right, so like D said, I'll be mixing it up. Okay, number 2, clear intentions, another buzzword. Okay, if questions comes to mind, please feel free to put a Q before it and drop it in the chat. Clear intentions. What do I mean by clear intentions? Okay, have an open conversation about your intentions. Okay, now if you're a woman, you have to pay attention to social construct there. You don't want to be the desperate one who is like, oh, can we talk? Where are we going with this? You don't want to, what are we? There's a point you get to, it's okay to say, what are we? There's a point that you say, what are we, is just too early. It's too early. You're going to come off as desperate, and you can potentially chase a good prospect away. Right? But what are we? What are we? Right? That's a viable question. What's your intentions? It's just better that you have a fatherly figure. If you're a woman, have a fatherly figure, an uncle, a male figure. It could be your younger brother, but a male figure. Okay, this is Ola, what do you mean? Why can't he just be a woman? These are the issues. But if you want a man, let me be precise here. Okay. If you want a man and you're a woman, you're better off having another man vet that person in words for you. Of course, you are vetting because you're watching people's actions. But in terms of asking what are your intentions, it's better to have another matured man ask that question, and that will express that you have clear intentions. Okay, very important. Why? Because you want to make sure you're on the same page. Sometimes people have different agenda, and you have a different agenda, and it looks good chemistry wise, but back there, especially if they have experience, there's a lot going on. And it might be very hard for you, especially if you're the one in love. If you're the one being infatuated by this person, it will be a difficult thing for you to be trying to vet for yourself in that respect. Okay, so clear intentions, but also make sure that the intentions are expressed in the way that's most optimal for what you're trying to do. So you have to pay attention to social construct. You have to pay attention to social intelligence. If you're a man, right, and you're dating a woman that's coming out of a situation, she has been separated for a while, and you guys are fancying each other and stuff like that, most of the energy should go into yourself and making sure that you're sure of yourself, that you're making sure that you're working on your purpose. Okay, and that will help you express 80% of your intentions in terms of how you move. The rest of the 20% will come out of just in conversations. All right, my wife, just by calling a woman my wife, it goes a long way. Now, how early should you say my wife? Social intelligence, right? Should be feeling off of each other's energy. There's a right time, and ultimately, if you leave some room and you're paying attention to social cues, after a while, you just want to be coming from a place that you're sure that this is your wife, and that would do all of the work you need to do, and you don't have to overthink that. You just have to mean it. So what if she said, no, I'm not your wife, or we'll never be married? And okay, it's not a big deal. Then you get the clue. You keep moving. Okay, but it's better to be, it's much more sexier to be sure of yourself than tiptoeing around the issue. And you should be okay with rejection in life. Okay, it hurts for most of us, But you should be okay that that's the reality of life in sales and business and relationships. Sometimes you chop breakfast, and you should understand that this is part of the journey. Okay. All right, number 3. Am I moving fast enough? Okay. Honesty about the past. Honesty about the past. Now, if you notice the way I come with these issues, I don't like the both of you should type of advices. I don't like them, because I feel like it puts you at the mercy of another human being that you're not too clear what the direction is yet. Okay. I want you to be more so in control of what you're able to be in control of, which is yourself and how you move and how you respond, how you react to crises, to events in life. I want you to pay more attention to that more than anything else. Okay. So when I say be honest, it's more or less I'm saying be honest with yourself. Okay. Be honest with yourself. What do you want? Okay, this is not your opportunity to go and be manipulating the other person to be honest with you just because you sense that they are lying. If you sense that they are lying, you don't feel safe. You shouldn't be moving so fast in that situation. You should probably slow down, self-reflect. Why is it that you don't feel secure in this situation? And why are you engaging a romantic situation where you don't feel secure, man or woman, right? That's what I want you to be honest about. I want you to be transparent to yourself. I don't want you to go and be obsessed with asking other people to be transparent with you. You should be focused on attracting them to want to be transparent with you, not trying to force them or manipulate them to be transparent with you. Those are two different things. Majority of the advices you get out there is people say, "Oh, be transparent with each other." Well, good. I know that. We know what is right and wrong. We all know. But how many times have you seen people how many times have you seen people actually broke that rule? Whatever that is, right? They break it all the time. They know they're supposed to be transparent, but there's a reason why they're not being transparent in spite of the fact that they know that is wrong. That reason, the why, the deeper why, not just because they're a terrible person, because I know you're probably going to say they're a bad person. If you think that, you're right. Maybe that's why you should exit that relationship, right? But if you think there's more to it, like I think there is more to it, right? You should be digging more, right? And how are you going to be digging more? Not actively, not proactively. More so on their end is more passive. On your end is actively paying all the attention to you. You are the shit. You yourself, you're supposed to be the shit. Like nobody else. Like this, you're bringing yourself as market value, right? So if somebody doesn't belong there, they will find their way out because you won't even give them attention like that anyway. Right? And you can feel it. Okay. So being honest with yourself in this respect, being transparent with yourself, that is the real thing that you never hear from anybody else. They don't talk about you being transparent with yourself. As in, look in the mirror, say, why do I feel the way that I feel outside of right and wrong? What social construct have I been a part of? How was I raised as a human being? What did I learn subconsciously or consciously from my parents, from the people that raised me? Who raised me? That's transparency to yourself. That's being honest with yourself. That's the angle I want you to look at this from. Not trying to not obsessed with asking another person to be transparent with you. Okay? Now, if you're doing that and you're getting with a person that has a past marriage or something like that, it's easier for you to look at that thing as what it is. That's a past marriage. It doesn't mean they're not viable, but you want to be honest with that person is going to be a big part of their life for the rest of their life. So if they're trying to alienate their past, they're running away from their past, they're often talking so badly about their past, you need to be honest with that. You're going to end up on the receiving end of that. That's what some people call karma. You're going to end up, it's almost inevitable. You will end up on the receiving end of whatever you're enjoying right now that makes you feel like you're being picked. You're chosen. You're the chosen one. Okay? It's a 99.999% chance that what you are finding that's attracting you today is probably what you're going to end up resenting in the future. Okay? In your conversations with this person, what did you learn? it should be automatically yeah, I wasn't. You should be at least hearing a little bit of self accountability in their speech, in their conversations, in their mannerism. Oh, when I was 10 years ago, I wish I knew this, Yeah, there's a lot of things I didn't know. I wasn't, yeah. I've grown quite a bit in the last 15 years. You want to hear things like that, subtly, not always directly, not in the way that they're trying to also finesse you. You want to make sure that it's not coming off as they're finessing you. But it's like it's part of a larger organization, but you're hearing that this person has grown. You're hearing them talk a lot about growth in a very authentic way. All right. We're doing well. So being honest about yourself, being transparent to yourself, being honest about the past of that person that you're getting into a situation with will help you a lot. Okay? Do me a favor, hit that like button. Thank you so much, D-Lord. We're missing, we're missing about 24 likes. If you're getting value from this, we're missing 24 likes. Thank you. Help me hit that like button. Tap on the love emoji, the heart emoji, or whatever emoji you see around you. They represent feedback. Okay. Thank you. We'd like to see those. All right. Let's go to number 4. Family approver. A lot of you made the same mistake in the beginning on your first marriage or your first rodeo. You're like, I'm not getting married to family. Or like, yes, you are. Okay. Yes, you.
Stop the cap.
You are getting it's two families coming together. That's the reality. Okay. If that person is in a space right now, they're saying screw their family, and they don't care about their family. It's probably coming from a place of resentment. Eventually, they're going to reconnect back with their equilibrium, their identity, and you might end up being called, it was all your fault. It's like the same thing as husband snatcher. Somebody calling you a husband snatcher because there was a previous wife and there was a blurry line between the past relationship and this relationship, right? It's the same thing. That same person you're getting with right now may end up resenting you. Think Prince Harry. Okay, because time is nobody's mate, right? And in due time, whatever it is that's clouding up people's judgment will clear up. Oftentimes it's because you're in love. You like this person. This person represents a breath of fresh air, right? We all like that feeling, the butterflies, right? It's beautiful, But eventually, it's going to clear up. It's going to clear up. But what do I mean by family approval? Okay, when possible, it's usually possible. Okay, you want to seek the approval and acceptance of both families. See, if I said of just that person's family, right, it would look like you're looking for validation. I don't want you to be in that space where you're begging for validation either, right? But when you're thinking of both families in this situation, it's just at some point in that relationship is a natural order of things. The two families should get to know each other, okay? And there's going to be some people that might give you certain vibes. If you're going to be called a husband snatcher or somebody that broke somebody's home, somebody's not going to be able to contain themselves, okay? And then you will see some kind of bottleneck or hurdle you have to jump over, and then you have to clear that up, okay? But this right here is a good checkpoint, okay, that you want to make sure that you go through properly before you move forward. All right. Okay. This will prevent a lot of misunderstanding. It will prevent a lot of negative assumptions. Okay. For obvious reasons, because there's only so much people can pretend. See, one person can pretend. When you bring the family in, their siblings, who are this person's, who raised these people, right? That you're getting with. Who's your sibling? Why is it that you're not talking to your immediate brother for the past 15 years? These are the kind of things you want to pay attention to. There's some people like that. Like, you haven't spoken to my brother in I don't know. We fell out. What? Your brother? What happened? I'm not saying it should be a hard stop. It should be a red flag. It should slow down, adapt. Yellow at least, like wave it down, slow down. Slow your roll. But again, these things in the beginning, you're in love. So the last thing you want is something to sabotage it, okay? But the biggest thing that can sabotage it is to be moving blindly, okay? To put on the blindfold. So family approval. The 11 things I'm sharing with you today are things that are like if you were getting with a person that has never been divorced before, or they don't have a past, somehow, some way, maybe not so planned out, you will go through these issues. But oftentimes when people have been through it, they consider it as pointless. There's no need. I'm a grown man, and they, and then they wonder why they get in trouble. Like now, Stella is wondering why everybody is against me, right? I would like to know what were the takes of the family, right? Did the family approve? Now, you're not looking for 100% approval. There are some people inside of the family that are just mad, and you should consider them mad. And you can see it to become obvious, like this one will really, like this one is not going to let us get through this bottleneck. We call it the checkpoint.
Let them go.
Breathe.
Yeah, so none of this is absolute. They're just checkpoints. Okay, checkpoints that you should pay attention to. All right, let's move on to checkpoint number 5. Yeah, I want to make sure I stay under an hour, so let me keep moving. Custody and co-parenting. Custody, these are very sensitive checkpoints. Okay. Custody and co-parenting. If children are involved, children are nobody's mate. They come with a lot of responsibilities. And if you're going into a situation where somebody already has previous children, or you have children, or you're bringing them into that, all these people are getting married, not just you. You're the least, I hate to say it that way. I know you like to be the bride, and it was just your day, and you're right. The reality.
Stop the cap.
The reality is that all of that is Oyinbo.
Everything I do, I will.
You're bringing all this energy together. You need to pay attention to this. Okay? If children are involved, you want to make sure that the custody and co-parenting arrangements are on point. They have been settled. Okay? Respectfully, not just respectfully, but legally. Listen, sometimes people will say things like, oh, that's no, legally is very important, because another person, just because they are dating a new person, can wake up and say, oh, hey, you're dating a new person. It can provoke the wrong part of their brain, the emotional senses, and now they want to sabotage the whole situation. They might just go and file a lawsuit right now, tomorrow, just because that person started dating. Maybe they didn't. Some people, the reality doesn't hit them until the person moves on, right? So when that reality hits them, then suddenly they want to be vindictive, right? Because they were, even though they might have been the one, I'm never going back there. Some people would have said, I'll never go back there, but that reality will kick in. That's why I keep telling you, emotions are nobody's mate. Okay, that reality will kick in, and now they will go and file a custody lawsuit, right? They might claim things like, I don't know what kind of people my children are around. I want to make sure, So legally, it's not just to hurt the other person. It's to protect everyone. Okay, how you react to that is everything, of course. It's everything and even more, right? But you just want to make sure that custody and co-parenting stuff has been arranged respectfully, but also legally. This is not the time to be, let's be nice. You don't have to go to court. Let's think about Mattel Melody Holtz of Love and Marriage, right? Sometimes people will wake up and say like, I'm not ready to let go. Sometimes they would never admit it with their mouth that they don't want to let go. Effectively, they're not letting go. Okay? All in all, make sure you avoid getting involved in their disputes. or any kind of friction that's going on. You want to stay clear off of that. That's going to be difficult because now you're in love with a person and you're feeling like I need to defend them too, or they might even bring the water to you unprovoked because because suddenly you're the one that didn't allow them to come back to their marriage. They were hopeful. They've been praying fervently that one day this person will come back and beg, and now you're collecting.
Sorry.
Let's move on to number 6. Communication with ex-spouse. Communication with ex-spouse. What do I mean by this? You want to make sure that the communication between your partner and their ex-spouse is focused on co-parenting and mutual respect. If they have this kind of thing going on, there's a high likelihood that they can sort issues out easily. But that's why you should date for a while. That's why you should be in some kind of courtship for a while, because people can't pretend for much long. At least one day they will show up, they're upset, they're like, oh yeah, it's my ex-wife. Well, you want to pay attention to those things, but not necessarily getting yourself involved. Okay, but the idea is that you're looking through, like, do they have a solid, respectful, mutually respectful communication with their ex-spouse? If they don't, this might come back and bite you in the butt. Okay, like I said, avoid being in the middle of their conflict, because any kind of collaboration between human beings will create conflict sometimes. The conflict is not the issue, it's how they handle the conflict. Okay, let me see here. Born Chance, hello, says please go to court to settle custody issues. The court is not your enemy, it's just there to protect everyone, especially your children. Yeah, just keep that at the back of your mind. If a person doesn't know that already and they keep bickering back and forth with their spouse, that's a red flag for them too, because they should know better and they're probably not prepared to go enter into another relationship. Okay, they're probably not well prepared for that. All right, so let's move on to number 7. We're getting through it. Establish trust. Now, my take on trust is very tricky. Okay, it's not majority of the takes you will get out there. Okay, why? Because I think trust is very similar to respect in the sense that it's earned. You can't force it. Okay, you can't trust. Okay, so you can choose to trust as an individual. You can choose to trust at least trust God, and I mean at least as in like that's the larger part of it, right? At least you should be able to say, I trust God. Like, you don't understand everything that's going on. You see, Pastor Taiwo Dukoya that passed away 2 days ago. You see, everybody's posting, we trust God, we trust God, we trust God. When you don't understand something, you can choose to trust God. There's going to be a lot in romantic relationships that you might not understand. Okay? At that point, you have to trust God, as opposed to saying I have trust issues. See, this is on the surface, it looks like it's the same thing, but the way you move after you say that to yourself is different. When you say I trust God, your next move is a little bit different. It's a lot more healthier than I have trust issues. I have trust issues, like I have trust issues. So the result of that, the person is picking that up. Maybe a romantic partner, they're picking that up, and they now have to protect themselves against you because they're not sure exactly what you mean by that, right? Right? But I trust God, right? I trust God. It's the same thing as no, I don't have 100% information of what happens in life. I'm not privy to a lot. Like we are not in control of any. I don't know if you know yet. We don't control Shingbai, nothing. Like somebody that's supposed to give you a loan that was supposed to save your business tomorrow can get hit by a bus before tomorrow morning. Did you know that? We don't control anything. So trust is actually inevitable, right? It's inevitable. It's when you don't want to let go that it becomes a problem. So established trust, you want to make sure you build this type of foundation with your partner. It's a place where you already feel safe and you're willing to rest and trust their decisions, which is why you shouldn't get into their conflicts with their ex-spouse or anything like that, right? Right? Now, in addition to that, you need he or she needs to demonstrate that they are committed to the new relationship. Okay? But they can't do that if they haven't taken the time to heal from their past situation. Okay, if they end up in basketballs every other day with their ex situation, it's going to be hard for you to trust. You can't force trust, remember? Okay, now it's going to rise to the surface, and even when you say trust God, you might not even mean it because you are afraid, you are scared, and when you have fear, you will move in the you will self-sabotage everything. When you have fear, when you have a toxic level of fear playing a part in your relationship like that, eventually you're going to attract what you fear the most, meaning basketballs between the two of you. It's not worth it. So you want to make sure that there's established trust. This is your 7th checkpoint. Okay, all right, let's go to the 8th checkpoint. We're moving fast, close enough. Okay, you don't want to be a Judy, you don't want to be a you. Judy right now is in denial. She thinks she wants to be a Judy. Okay, that's okay. That's how they are. Some people have coconut head like that. Okay, they try to force a situation that is just not situationy into a situation, and it just doesn't work out, right? So Stella, the way she shows it is she's been overly defensive ever since. She had never felt safe with this situation, but she kept pushing and forcing it until it looks like she fell on her face. You know, all of this you can blame it back to the foundation of a relationship that was created with respect to past unresolved situations in that situation. I know, pardon me, Oyiboni. It's not my fault to pressure wise. It's all of your fault.
Everything I do, I will. Pressure to what?
When you have unresolved, even if you're getting married for the first time, if you have unresolved trauma from your childhood, it's a mess with you. How much more if you have other human beings, children from all sides involved, right? So, clear boundaries with ex-spouse, okay? You want to make sure that your new partner, whoever this is, has some clear boundaries with their ex-spouse, okay? So you might find a situation where they have culture, tradition, they always travel with the children, and listen, letting go is one of the hardest things to do in life for human beings, for us, right? It's very hard to do, but there's some things that's going to be hard to let go because of the children, because you love your children. You don't want to take it. Think about Mattel, Holtz, and Melody, right? Same issue. They wanted to go on this vacation with the children because they have 4 children together. I don't blame them, right? And they don't want to take that kind of culture or tradition away from the children. Or they always sit together at night to eat with the children. All this type of stuff that they probably didn't do when they should have done it. But now they want to. One person wants to use it to manipulate the other person to stay with them, as opposed to leveraging when opportunities shows up naturally. If you're looking to get your ex back, right? What they're trying to do is they're trying to force it. So now they end up in this vacation, Melody and what's his name? Mattel Holt, right? They took their 4 children, and then the guy is now showing a picture of when they were smiling in the past, trying to rekindle with a picture from a phone. Like, dude. Oh Lord. Yeah. If you now imagine a person that's dating him and is seeing all of that, you can't feel safe with that situation. Maybe you're like, I would just trust God. And then 5 years down the line, you guys have been married for 3 years, and you look in the internet and everybody's calling you a home breaker, a home wrecker, a husband snatcher, or somebody actually take a hit out on you. I told you there's a story of a guy who's taking a hit out on another guy because the girl, the common denominator, did not clear the air before she jumped from one situation to another. You have to be careful, okay? These things can have grave consequences, okay? Clear boundaries with the ex-spouse, very important. Some ties just need to be cut, right? Of course, the children, there's a way to still do the children, but you got priority. Remember one of the points I made yesterday? Priority awareness. There's some things that you have to set first, and then the other things will fall in place in the most healthiest and most optimal way. Okay, just pay attention to that. Number 9, checkpoint number 9, emotional preparedness. Do I need to stress this too much? Right? You guys should know this was coming, right? You want to make sure you assess whether your partner has truly moved on emotionally from his or her previous marriage. If they're spending most of their time talking about how they hate their ex-wife, they have not moved on. Obviously, that's emotionally engaged. If they're spending every other day doing basketballs, there's always conflict, toxic level conflict between their ex-spouse every other day. And instead of you having a good time with your new partner and you're noticing that this person brings this issue home. If they were popular, they were a celebrity, and the whole internet is dragging them for potentially or allegedly stealing a child away from their ex, there's no way, no matter how much they pretend or they don't care or they're dismissive, there's no way that they're still not emotionally engaged in that situation. You want to make sure that that's cleared. And yes, oftentimes I say, hey, not everything needs to be for the public, but if you're a public figure, some statements might be necessary from a PR standpoint to clear the air, because if some narrative continues for long enough, you will overreact to it later on, and then you'll mess things up even further. Okay, so there's some things where within the right constructs, within the right guides, you want to make a statement to clear the air for some things if you're a popular person. Okay, but if you have to repeat yourself more than 2 or 3 times, that method of communication, that channel is not working, right? So you just want to pay attention to signs of unresolved emotions and lingering attachments. All right, we're doing well. We're almost there. Checkpoint number 10, future plans and values alignment. Are you guys still with me? Somebody say something in the chat. Just say hello, 1, type a 1 in the chat or something like that. Just type a 111 or something like that in the chat. Let me see it. I'll wait before I dive into what I mean by future plans and values alignment. I'll wait for it. Okay, thank you, D-Lover. I appreciate you. I just want to make sure that I'm still live. Yes. Good. Thank you. All right, everybody else, tap in the 1 while I continue. All right, future plans and value alignment. When you're in love, you're probably having a lot of conversation about future plans, but there's something else you need to start paying attention to, right? Goals. Okay, purpose-driven conversations. Okay, see, people that are still engaged emotionally with their past, they're not able to have this. They can't think straight, especially men. Men can't focus. Men can only focus on one thing at a time. Okay, Chinye, Alpha. Right? Men can only focus on one thing at a time. We're not like women. Okay, women can be watching TV. Shout out to this example I'm stealing from Pastor K. They can be watching TV and be on their phone and playing games and then talking to you at the same time and be the one narrating what's going on TV for you at the same time. That happens to me every time. I'm trying to pay attention, and because my mind, sometimes my wife is trying to talk to me, but I'm on the laptop, and somehow she assumed that I act like I'll play like a woman. Like, no, my brain is engaged with whatever I'm looking at on the laptop. I need to disengage from the laptop and say, babe, yeah, can you say that again? Because my brain was engaged with the laptop. And sometimes it's like, I take a deep breath. Like, no, we're not like you. Okay. My brain, if I'm on laptop, I'm engaged with it, right? And if I catch myself long enough, fast enough, once you start talking to me, if it's not stuff that that is browsing or scrolling, I'll just disengage and pay attention to you when I want to when I want to do the right thing. Okay, when I'm healthy enough to do the right thing, when I'm emotionally engaged enough to do the right thing, which is disengage and talk to her, or say, babe, give me 1 second, let me finish this thing, just give me 1 second. Okay, sorry, what were you saying? See, men, generally speaking, not all men of course, generally speaking, we can't be doing all that multitasking at the same time. Okay, so if a man is engaged with you at a level where he's serious, he cannot be engaged emotionally with his past. If he's engaged emotionally, positive or negative, is the same thing, by the way, with his past. If he's actively talking about how much he hates his children or his ex, it's almost an impossible thing for him to be engaged with future plans with you, or to be aligned with him like that. Okay, so obviously you might find yourself in a position you start questioning compatibility later on, but all the while maybe you didn't pay attention to that. So there's no vacuum. It's either he's engaged with his past or he's excited about the future, and there's a way that he manages some of the remnants or residues or children from his past. Let me not call children residues, right? And there's a way he manages that with respect to the future. And the same thing for a woman too. A woman who is trying to move forward will basically know that they're supposed to take care of these things. Okay. All right, we're doing well. We got one more to go. I see some people. So Chinye, she said pressure too much.
Everything I do, I will. Pressure to what?
All right, where's Seal 84? Seal 84, shout out to you. I haven't seen that name before. Let's see. All right, so let's do this. Let's tackle the last one that we'll round up for the day. I want to keep this to 1 hour. I told you this week is 1 hour. Okay. So number 11, checkpoint, time to heal. You know, the healing process is a process. Okay, it's a process. Okay. So in addition to the fact that you want to make sure that this new partner of yours has taken the time to heal, particularly in their actions, you can not something they say, oh yeah, I've healed. Oh no, trust me, I'm good. All that doesn't. I hear people tell me that all the time. Oh, trust me, I'm good. Especially men. Oh, trust me, I'm good. But then they will spend the next 2 hours talking about how painful that experience was, right? Yeah, you got to pay attention to that, right? So in addition to the fact that they should have taken the time to heal after that previous situation, man or woman, they should be on that journey. I want to say perpetually, but what I mean is that they should be aware, self-aware enough to know that there's remnants and residues from their past. They need to be self-awareness about that, and that will show in the way they conduct themselves. Okay. Some people don't even know how to hide it. They might even say, you remind me of my ex right now with what you just did. If they say something stupid like that, they're not ready. Okay? They're not ready. I don't care if it's been 10 years. I don't care if it's been 20 years. They're not ready. In fact, if you go and look very well, their ex is probably still hanging out in the corner and somebody's about to call your husband snatcher very soon. You just weren't paying attention. Okay? So healing is an ongoing thing. When some wounds you just have to like there's some type of wounds that you have that the doctor would tell you that part of your. I'll give you an example. My brother, he's a gym rat. He lifts weight and he's always in the gym. And one time he tore some kind of muscle around the elbow right here. So when we met up with my father last weekend just to hang out, he was sitting next to me, and apparently it's been 2 years when that happened, but I'm not. So I now look and say, so about lower, how's your hand? It's like, which over? Oh, say it's on this side. I was like, oh, like, no, it's good. I just can't use it to lift weight. There's some kind of trauma that some body parts of yours will go through that the doctor will tell you you can't lift 245s on that side anymore, ever, for the rest of your life. Okay, meaning you just pay attention to that, right? So there's some kind of wounds or trauma that people have gone through that the best they can do with it to have the most optimal quality of life. I know I said most optimal quality of life is to be aware. Awareness is everything. So when I say time to heal, it's almost like a perpetual thing. Once you've got, there's nobody that goes through a marriage and come out of it and they just look, oh, I'm just happy, everything is fine. No, I'm just a serial monogamist. You're right.
Stop the cap.
Okay.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying?
It doesn't exist. Okay, everybody comes out with something. Every break fast, even the most mildest one, every break fast will put a dent on it like that, right? So when they're coming out of it, you just want somebody who is aware of that, and they show that, and they also put themselves in positions to manage that from time to time. So for you, for them, time to heal is an ongoing thing. When it comes to healing, now you also make sure you're paying attention to context there, and not always say, "Oh, but you know what I've gone through." Like if you're always bringing that up, like, "Well, you know what," and you're trying to use that to manipulate the next person, you will self-sabotage too. So it's case by case situation, case by case. All right. All right. Any other questions at this point in time? We did well with that. That's 11 checkpoints that I feel like Judy will probably like, who cares about your stupid 11 points? Anyway, but I think Stella Damasus would probably appreciate this if she had seen this, some years back, and there's a lot of women who end up being called a husband snatcher. Okay, there's a lot of men who end up inheriting what they didn't bargain for because they didn't look out for this kind of situation. And the reality is that people are going to get with each other. People are going to have sex. People are going to have enough sex and say, maybe I should try this thing again. Right? That's just the reality. Right? And I don't blame them because they're human beings. People want companionship. Connection is basic human needs. Right? But you need to have a certain healthy level of awareness when you're engaging these things. Number 4, connection. In fact, connection, the obsessive need for connection is why some people can't stop talking about their ex in very negative manners. They resent the idea that all of that fell apart so badly, and they continue to perpetuate and recreate the memories of the worst case scenario for themselves. And that's what breakfast does to people, directly or indirectly. Even if you're the one that served the breakfast, when it comes to marriage, that's the last thing you wanted to do, right? So that comes with a certain level of responsibility on your part, and especially when you're moving on into a new situation with a person that's a little cloudy. You're not sure if they're still engaged with their past. Some people say, "Oh, he gave me," like you, Stella Damasus. There's certain impressions that people give, and you just didn't know until eventually now she might even end up saying verbal abuse later on and focus all her energy on calling this guy verbally abusive. She did that with the previous husband, the husband in the middle. Verbal abuse. When you say verbal abuse, right, it carries weight in the brain more than what you mean sometimes. I don't know if you're aware of that. Especially if you keep talking about it. Like the next person who might have gone through something similar, they can relate with you. They're not thinking that both of you were abusive to each other. They were thinking you were just on the receiving end. You were just like this. You were not saying anything back. That person was just raining abuses on you. Bottom line is they don't have a full picture of what's going on or what happened in your situation, but somehow they assumed it subconsciously, right? The same thing happens to you even before you talk to another person, right? Emotional abuse, verbal abuse, these things will happen in romantic relationships until you figure out how to do it properly, right? When you see abuse, if you interpret it as abuse, you need to disengage, back off from that situation until they get help or you get help. You need to get help too, because there's a reason why you're attracting that situation, right? That's how I want you to engage that conversation. Okay, as opposed to, no, it was just the other person's fault. If you remotely sound like it, even if you don't say it, you're going to self-sabotage. Your next situationship is going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I'm a Ghanaian people here, and worse and worse. Any pastors in the house? All right, that's all I have for you today. All right, that's all I have for you. Here's the word, okay? Here's the word. You deserve happiness. Absolutely. You deserve not just happiness, joy, everlasting joy and happiness. Okay? But you deserve all of the responsibilities on your part as an adult to make that happen. You deserve all of the agency, the autonomy, right? Your powers. The power to engage with your power, okay? To make this happen. You do have more power than you realize, okay? And in the areas where you have power, and you have a lot less power in some areas that your knee-jerk reaction is probably making you engage more, right? You need to pay attention. What's my knee-jerk reaction when I find myself in crisis? How do I react when I find myself in crisis, right? How do I react? Those are things you want to pay attention to. So I noticed also that some of you just came in just about the 1 hour mark. I want you to keep in mind that this week I'm only doing 1 hour. I just went 5 minutes over time. But you just came late. Rewind all the way to the beginning. You missed out. Okay, you missed out. Make sure you watch everything in the beginning. All 11 checkpoints. It's also useful even if you're not coming from a bad situation. Okay, maybe you broke up with a boyfriend. Maybe it was a long-term situation. Some guy dated you for 8-9 years. You thought it was going to be marriage, but you broke it up because it's just not going anywhere. This 11 checkpoints will be extremely useful for you in order to approach that situation as well. But today was more so about people that have residues and remnants and leftovers from their past, and you're going to end up with very negative assumptions if you don't make sure you go through at least these 11 checkpoints before you move ahead into the future. All right, so just as a quick recap, okay, number 1, respect boundaries. I don't mean the same boundary you mean. Make sure you go back and watch it, okay? Clear intentions 2. 3, honesty about the past. 4, family approval. It's 2 families coming together, okay? Even if what do you call it? They're estranged right now. Even if they eloped with you, it's still 2 families. You collect if you make this mistake. Number 5, custody and co-parent. You want to make sure that's resolved legally and respectfully, okay? Respectfully and legally. 7, establish trust. 8, clear boundaries with ex-spouse or ex-partners, okay? Number 9, emotional preparedness, okay? 10, future plans and values alignment. 11, time to heal. And that's it right there. Do me a favor, on your way out, we're missing 25 likes. Turn up on those 25 likes. About 25 of you just came in last minute. I don't know why you're doing like this. We start at 5 p.m. But anyway, it's okay. Go back and watch it over again and leave comments. Let me know what you think about this. There's always a $sign inside of a rectangle. You can always donate, either you're watching replay or doing a live session. And like, and the best thing you can do about all of this is to share. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.